The South Carolina Hall of Fame was founded in Myrtle Beach in 1973 to recognize and honor contemporary and past citizens who have made outstanding contributions to South Carolina's heritage, history, and progress.
Frances Ravenel Smythe Edmunds was born December 11, 1916 in Charleston, South Carolina. Edmunds was the leading force of the preservationist movement in Charleston. Her ideas would serve as the inspiration and model for preservationists across the country.
Frances Edmunds, one of those rare people in history that comes along. She is Charleston.
She was deeply passionate about preservation and about Charleston. She was a force of nature.
It was this passion and leadership that allowed Edmunds to think of creative ways of preserving the town she loved so much. In 1957, she put her skills to the test, rehabilitating an old Charleston slum known as Ansonboro.
Frances knew how to cultivate friendships, and she knew where the money was. She sold houses there for next to nothing on the condition that people restored the houses and maintained them.
This revolutionary idea came to be known as a revolving fund and is still a major practice among preservationists today.
It's really the process of buying a house, improving it, selling it, perhaps making a profit and buying another house.
Early on, Edmunds would use more creative ways to continue beautifying the city.
She got X paint from the United States government. We didn't even know what color it would be when we got it. We just opened the cans. If they were gray, the house was gray. If they were red, we had red houses.
On September 22, 1989, Hurricane Hugo hit the coast of South Carolina, damaging many of the historic buildings in the city of Charleston. One of those buildings was the Second Presbyterian Church, which Edmunds attended every Sunday. Knowing this was the fourth oldest church in the city of Charleston, Edmunds immediately began working to repair the damage caused by Hugo. Edmunds also helped to preserve other historical landmarks, including American Revolutionary War hero William Henry Drayton's home, Drayton Hall.
Drayton Hall is an icon in colonial American architecture. The carved woodwork that we've seen, the brickwork, the two-story portico, the carved plaster ceiling. We enjoy this house today thanks to the more recent efforts of leaders like Frances Edmunds.
Efforts that kept Charleston's historic value intact.
When she was working in the 60s and 70s, preservation wasn't a cool thing to do across the nation. And there were many cities that deserved to be preserved, but that weren't. These cities and towns turned to Charleston for inspiration, and they learned from Frances Edmunds.
She was so wise in understanding what needed to be preserved or how new things should be built.
She believed strongly in quality, in excellence, and in nurturing the best of the past so it could live on into the future.
Frances Edmunds also played a key role in bringing the famed Spoleto Festival to Charleston.
Frances saw that as something that would bring more art, more culture to this city and engage not only the local citizens, but citizens around the nation.
Frances Edmunds was also appointed by President Jimmy Carter to serve on the Advisory Council on Historic Preservation. In 1971, Edmunds was awarded the Louise DuPont Crowninshield Award, the highest award of the National Trust for Historic Preservation.
Preservation is so often more about what you don't see than what you do see. When you walk around downtown Charleston, for example, one of the things you don't see are high-rises. And that's because of efforts of people like Frances Edmunds.
In 1947, Frances Smythe Edmunds became the founding director of the Historic Charleston Foundation, an organization that still plays a major role in the preservation of Charleston today.
She was the one who believed so strongly in the preservation ethics to protect and preserve the architecture, the culture, the history of the historic district. And what she believed in, she let the city leaders know.
I tremble at the thought of Charleston having been without Frances Edmunds. She shaped and molded and made the city that we enjoy and cherish today.
Frances Ravenel Smythe Edmunds passed away on April 30th, 2010, but her work as one of America's boldest leading preservationists can still be seen throughout cities like Charleston today.